Live from Dayton, Ohio, your number one podcast on the internet. You have BC, you have Rick. We are the Two Average Fantasy Football Guys. This is taped in front of a live studio audience.
So, another thing that we wanted to focus on today was Rick asked me the question, give me 3 players that you're looking forward to next year, or
Merry Christmas. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Now it's New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So Happy New Year to everybody out there. And the question was new year, which players are looking forward to the new year next year, and who you might want to concentrate on. Not that are going to be top round picks, but guys later in the draft who pretty much flew under the either rookies or guys that flew under the radar this year that might be good steals late rounds next year due to circumstance or certain factors. So we each picked 3 guys out that are looking forward to next year, that have momentum to next year, either rookies out of college or guys that are carrying momentum into the next season or can't wait to the next season. First up, I think I'm first, right, Brian?
Yep. You started off, brother.
So I selected Tyler Shao, the quarterback, if that's, you can say that, he didn't have a good year this year, but if you look at Tyler Shao, you see his highlights back here, and I think he played his way into the starting job, Brian. I think he was picked in the last end of the first round, right? So he's a first-round pick.
Yeah.
He's 6'5". He was an old rookie. I think he's 26, something like that, 25, 26. But he's tall, 6'5". I think the last 7 games of the year, he averaged 260 yards per game passing and almost 20 rushing yards per game with 10 total touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So he had a really good end of the year. The last 2 games, he passed over 300 yards. You got Chris Olave. I think there's no doubt about it. They're going to draft. They got a top 7 pick next year. They're going to draft somebody to help him because all they got's Olave and Juwan Johnson, who Juwan's not young himself. But I think, look for them to take someone like Carnell Tate early in the draft to kind of help Chris Olave.
That'd be nice.
So they're going to add some weapons next year. So I think he did this without any weapons against some pretty bad teams, but that still helps your confidence. I think their pass to run ratio was 5th in the league. So their offensive coordinator likes to throw the ball. Then they were struggling at running backs this year. They kind of went through them. I don't know if that was a factor, but their offense they played, you've brought the Saints up here in the past few weeks about being exciting, and they pass the ball. And I think next year he's going to be one you want to concentrate as a QB2 on your team. I mean, could he be a QB1? He sure could, but you're not going to draft him as such. So target Tyler Shaw.
Yeah, without a doubt. Who you got next?
Next, I have, this is kind of a long shot, but if you watched him, he's good. Malik Davis out of Florida for the Dallas Cowboys. Last week, he had 45% of the snap count against the Redskins, which sure was the Redskins. I don't think there's much to play for. But I think next year he's worked his way into being the number 2 back. Javonte Williams carried the load a lot. I think they're going to give him the ball a little bit more. He averaged 4.8 yards a carry, only 2 touchdowns, but he went to Florida. He has the pedigree. He's 5'11", 202. So late in the draft, if you looking for some dart throw, I think Malik Davis is a good option there next year.
Yeah, dude's balling there.
As you can see by his highlights, he's got some pep in his step. And third, if you've heard of him,
this is a deep one.
Ifan Chisholm III. He plays for the Patriots. He's a rookie. He was an undrafted rookie in preseason. He balled out. His first preseason game, he had 6 receptions for 50 yards and a touchdown. His second preseason game, he had 6 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. He didn't get much playing time throughout the year because I'm sure they had a lot of veterans at that position, but I do not look for Stephon Diggs coming back next year. He signed a 1-year deal. We see he just got in trouble for some domestic violence recently, so I think variable builds
culture.
A culture, and I don't think he fits that culture. I might be wrong. They might re-sign him. He might be great in the locker room. I just don't see Diggs coming back, and I think you have a great quarterback that spreads the ball around. highest completion percentage in the NFL this year. So I think he will make a big jump next year. So in the late rounds, I think you might want to target Efon Chisholm III. Keep that name in mind. He's got some skills.
This is some good 3 players, man. I mean, I'll keep them in mind. This is kind of unique because we do share a fantasy league, even though you have your own leagues and I have my own. But we're kind of bleeding our game plan here, you know. And I finished 3rd and you finished 2nd, so that means
we're also contemplating a fantasy playoff.
True,
correct? So
yeah, we got to come up with a fantasy playoff. So,
who do you got?
I got 3 players as well, just like you asked. I'm going to start off with my boy here, Cam Ward. Now, remember, just like Rick said, I'm not trying to give you somebody that's going to finish top 3 quarterback, but when you go into a draft, I mean, if you're not going to draft the top tier quarterback, I mean, you're going to wait. And now at the end of this year, Cam Ward, he had some impressive games. He was above 20 points fantasy wise. He threw 2 touchdowns the last 4 straight games. He was starting to piece it together. Now they did fire their coach, so a lot's going to be said, like who's going to be the coach there at Tennessee. But I mean, Cam Ward balled out in college, and I think he's going to make a good leap. So think about when you're drafting a quarterback and you miss out on the top tier people, kind of like similar to Caleb Williams this year. You know, nobody's going to draft him, but I feel Cam Ward is going to make a good jump next year that could surprise him. That's how you win leagues, man. You pass on the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows, let everybody else get them, weaken their team. You draft a good running back and wide receivers, and you come back and you get a quarterback that makes a huge jump from year to year. Cam Ward might be that guy you want to look at next year.
Well, he's got some talent around him as well. Chimere Dike and Elik Ayonmanar were both rookies this year, and they both showed flashes of putting it together. So, and then they had Calvin Ridley on the bench, who was hurt all year. Who knows what's up with him next year? But he does have some talent around him, so that's definitely a good pick.
I think a lot would be said who ends up being the coach. I wonder if they're going to try to do the same thing as like for Caleb Williams, like they brought in Ben Johnson specifically, and look what he's done for Caleb Williams, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're going to bring in like a defensive-minded coach. No. They want someone to get the best out of Cam Ward.
I hope the Giants do the same thing. You're listening, Mr. Martin.
Second, I went to the college ranks. Jeremiah Love, man, out of Notre Dame. I mean, I've been impressed with this guy throughout his college career. He's, you know, he plays for a big college in Notre Dame, obviously. I was telling Rick earlier that, you know, this year I kind of fell for the fool's gold of Ashton Genty, even though he had a couple games that he blew up. Overall, the consistency was there, mostly to blame for the team that he played for. But going into next year's draft, I could see, you know, Jeremiah Love being a strong, you know, round 2, maybe round 3, you know, in your fantasy draft, and you should be happy with it. He's currently projected to go to the Chiefs in the draft. You know, the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes got that ACL. They're going to have to rely on the run game. They have Kareem Hunt and whatever that other guy, Paco Checo, that keeps getting concussions.
Like either of them. No.
Yeah, I don't like either one. This guy is a dual threat. When given a crease, Love can reach top speed quickly, allowing him to pick up chunks of yards. He's versatile. He can line in the backfield. He can run in the slot and run routes. The guy's just, I mean, I guess all the highlights are over. But I've always been impressed with him, especially last year when he played Ohio State and the dude could barely walk, and he was still out there giving it his all. He didn't have a good game stat-wise, man, but you could see that determination. It's going to be a baller.
He had 1,372 yards and 18 touchdowns rushing with 280 receiving with 3 touchdowns. So he had over 21 touchdowns this year for Notre Dame. So I hope the Chiefs don't get it. Do or don't, I don't know. It don't matter. But he would definitely help that offense.
Yeah, I don't want the Chiefs to get him either because
They have a good pick, though.
Yeah, they
Do they have a better pick than the Bengals?
I
think the Bengals have a better pick.
Yeah, the Bengals have a better pick right now. Or if you better mean
Lower.
closer to number one,
Yeah.
I think the Bengals. I think the Chiefs will pick before the Bengals.
Really?
I think.
Huh.
I don't know though. I'm not sure on that.
That's a win if you're a Bengal fan.
Here's my third one is Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. This dude's a baller. Look at that catch right there. I mean, that would have gone for a touchdown in the NFL. This dude has exceptional separation ability with fluid hips and explosive transitions that put defensive backs in blenders. Blenders. I love that word for this guy. He's a clutch performer and that shows true alpha traits. So, again, this ain't, 1990s where you didn't draft a wide receiver, a rookie wide receiver. You would just stay away from them until like Randy Moss came into the picture. Then we started drafting wide receivers, but then there was a long kind of like drought where you weren't really getting good production out of wide receivers. Jamar Chase kind of changed that. Justin Jefferson changed that. The guy out of Carolina, McMillan, changed that. Malik Neighbors changed that. I don't think you should be scared anymore to draft a wide receiver, a rookie wide receiver, in the first couple rounds. I mean, the NFL is pure pass happy. They want to get these playmakers the ball, and that they want to throw them in the lineup right away. And if you got talent, you're going to play. I mean, it's simple as that.
And it always, helps going to a team that's friendly at your position. So if he goes to a team like Kansas City or the Titans, they're gonna have a good pick, or even New Orleans. I think teams like that will definitely help his draft status and his stats next year. So if he goes to a bad team that runs the ball a lot, then maybe not. So that's always the case. But yeah, I think he's 6'1", 195 pounds. Had 711 yards with 8 touchdowns last year in only 9 games. So yeah, the only thing is he gets he gets beat up a little bit and he misses some time. So he needs if he could stay healthy and get that soft tissue stuff. Nothing major usually, but I think he's going to be pretty good at the next level.
It'd be interesting to see if between him and Carnell Tate, who goes number 1 in the NFL draft.
I think Tate, but we'll see. Yeah. I personally think the Saints are going to draft Tate. So whatever the Saints pick, I know it's pretty low. I think they will take Tate.
That'd be kind of cool. They have a bookend Buckeye wide receivers.
It's not too bad. I think there might be a couple teams in the league like that. But
go Bucks!
Let's look at the standings really quick.
Go Bucks!
New Orleans 6-10, and the Bengals were 6-10, and the Chiefs 6-10. All three 6-10. So we'll see. We'll see who gets the better picks. But I think the Chiefs need a receiver. Well, they got Rice, but I still think they since Tyreek Hill and that downfield threat, they
haven't been the same.
Xavier Worley was not that this year. No. I mean,
he's too little.
Yeah, I mean, this is talk about a couple things like that. Xavier Worley was a major disappointment.
Yeah.
That Mahomes wasn't throwing the ball down the field. I can't even remember a 70-yard touchdown from Mahomes this year.
No. It's all gone.
Anybody else that were like kind of disappointments real quick as we wrap it up?
Through the Chiefs?
No, just in the NFL in general, like him. Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr., we talked about him on the naughty list.
Bucky Irving, kind of very big disappointment. Missed 8 games and he didn't have a 100-yard game all season. So
overall, man, there was just a lot of injuries this year. And a lot of these guys that you place high on your draft boards and then they're gone, and then they come back and some dude's taking over. Like Tampa Bay, Bucky Irvin got hurt. Who was his replacement? You got Rachaad White. And then on the backside of that, you got this dude named Sean Tucker that was coming in exciting and, became a fan favorite right away, So then when he comes back, he's splitting carries.
Well, being healthy is obviously a big part of just making a decision on who to draft. If you have a guy who's hurt all the time and you have that guy, that veteran who's healthy every year, you have to put additional stock in that guy. I mean, like Derrick Henry. I mean, he's there year in and year out. Never gets hurt. I mean, he's been hurt before, but just really never does. Chase Brown played every game this year. I mean, that helps your draft ranking and your draft or your fantasy performance. But I think they should go back to 16 games. I think 17 is too many.
I did want to go on a rant on this, and I don't know if we have the time, but I am over the NFL in this, this constant Thursday night games. I mean, yeah, we want to watch more football, but I guess I'm a traditionalist, and I'd be curious to how people feel about this. I love the fact that Sunday is football Sunday. We hustle and bustle through the week. Sunday, if you're lucky enough to have the day off of work, you don't have responsibilities, you could just dedicate that day to watching football, man. You got football from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, and then you have that excitement of Monday night. That is good enough for me. I mean, I do agree with later in the year, you start getting into these playoff pushes, and since college is done, you can throw some games on Saturday. I'm cool with that. Thursday night game, you can get rid of that for all I care. You
say that because you think it's a subpar product, that just is a waste.
With fantasy football, with betting, you don't know what you're getting on Thursday night. You get two teams coming in there. You can have an undefeated team and a team that hasn't won a game, and you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a rout. And then the team that hasn't won, they just blow it up, and the team that's undefeated looks like crap because they didn't prepare or they have a quick turnaround. Injuries keep happening. These guys aren't getting their time to rest their bodies. It's a violent sport, man. I think the NFL is going way too greedy, trying to do international games left and right. The bye weeks. Truly, I've always said this, and I think Joe Burrow brought this up a couple years ago. You have a straight, 2-week or 1-week bye week. Everybody gets the bye week. The whole NFL just takes a break. You do something in between there, like a skills competition or whatever.
I wouldn't be mad with 2 bye weeks per
bye
team.
weeks. Yeah.
But with the Thursday night thing, I like to. For me, I like football, so I like to see it. Friday night makes more sense, but and also when it's Sunday, it's hard to watch 8 games at one time and take it all in.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, football wasn't so violent. You could play it like baseball or basketball, but you can't. You need that time off in between. I mean, I just liked watching the football. So
yeah.
And for this and thinking I have enough knowledge to go on here and talk about it, I like to be able to watch it so I can talk about it. So the only downfall for me is I wouldn't be mad if there's no Thursday night football. To me, it should be Friday night football. Makes more sense.
That'd give them at least an extra day.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why. Too. When we were young, I don't know about
Friday night high school.
Yeah, I don't know about your town, but when we were young, 10, 20 years ago, there was 30 nightclubs in town. Now there's none. I think the NFL stayed away with that because they think people go out on Friday nights, but I think that's dying. I don't think as many people go out on a Friday night, and I think you could still get the ratings on Friday night. So maybe, I agree. Thursday night football, I get mad at it more often than I'm happy with it. And so I agree with that, but I just want to be able to see the games more. So
I do too. It's a selfish rant because
sure.
And we're going to get into the top 10 recap. We're finalizing the top 10 for the year, but that's another thing. Rick and I sit here and we research who we could possibly put, who we're thinking is going to be in the top 10, running back, quarterback, wide receiver. Well, we have to have that shit out Tuesday night.
Thursday, right?
Because of Thursday night games. It's just I don't know. That's another topic for some other day that we'll get into, but. The NFL is by far the greediest.
Yeah.
And it's either.
And now it's on 8 different channels.
Yeah.
You got to order Peacock to see one game. You got to order Amazon to see another one. You got to order Netflix to see one. It's like, come on.
I'm hoping this second year of the college playoff, because college football is a better product when it gets into the championship stuff, man. And their tournament is far better than any NFL. But the NFL rules the ratings, and they push people out. They're pushing the NBA out of Christmas Day. That's another selfish thing they did. Is like, dude, just stay where you belong and just dominate and let it be. And then preaching player safety. I got Chase here with his little
Guardian cap
on, because I don't want him to get hurt, in case he falls down and he's leaning.
That turf is hard. They play.
Turf is hard. The NFL preaches that, and then they turn around and make these guys play after they're playing a Sunday night game, play on Thursday. They've done it to the Bengals twice. It's stupid.